Greetings, everyone. My name is Jordan, and my demonstration speech is going to be on the importance of maintaining a healthy body weight. So, some important things to remember about keeping maintaining a healthy body weight is that there's different approaches to achieving this goal. Um, so, I'll be discussing that throughout the presentation. Um, there's tons of ads online that talk about losing weight quickly through dietary supplements, which sounds like a good concept, right? Makes billions of dollars every year in the US. Um, and it's the most convenient approach to losing weight for anybody, especially people with a busy life. But we're going to be discussing why that's not the approach you want to go about to losing weight, and I'll give you many reasons why. So, a little bit of an introduction into what I'm going to be discussing. Um, According to the Cleveland Clinic, the most effective approach to losing weight is going to be at a slower pace. Now, the reason for that is that if you lose weight too quickly, you're more than likely to relapse and give up on any diets that you may be using to lose weight, or a lot of people tend to go and exercise at an excessive rate. They can injure themselves in the process, which will then result in you not exercising as often as you should, which the recommended time frame is about 30 minutes of exercise a day, right? So if you do 30 minutes of exercise a day, you're within the guidelines, the appropriate guidelines to be on the right track to losing weight at the right pace. That's the key um, concept to remember. It's all about the pace that you lose it at. And an interesting quote that I found but on in a children's book actually by Jerry Pinkney. The children's book is called The Tortoise and the Hare. Has a quote that aligns with the approach that you should go about losing weight and maintaining a healthy body weight, which is slow and steady wins the race. So some of the benefits to exercising and eating healthy is obviously we all want to live a long, healthy life. We want quality of life. And some of the benefits to incorporating these techniques, right, eating healthy and exercising, could be to gain muscle mass. That's definitely proven that if you exercise, you get muscle memory, so you'll gain muscle mass. You can improve your endurance through cardio exercises, right? They help your heart, they help your cardiovascular health, so you'll improve endurance as a result. Um, Depletion of body fat, you definitely want to eliminate as much body fat as you can, because you can get cardiovascular diseases, right? America has very, very high rates of cardiovascular disease, diabetes, hypertension, and that's just to name a few of the common illnesses that are prevalent in America and around the world also. But we're going to be discussing statistics related to the US specifically. Um, and it can help reduce the likelihood of you developing certain diseases such as like osteoporosis, and overall it'll improve your health. So that's what we all want, longevity and good health. So some risk associated with the American diet. So as you see below, the image that I have in front of me is the body mass index, right? BMI. So you want to be within a healthy BMI. Obviously, if you're overweight, you're more likely to develop disease. So, according to the CDC, um, over 100 million people in the US are considered obese today. So, this figure pretty much indicates that about a third of the US population is considered obese today. And the reason why that's concerning is because obesity is known to cause mortality due to many complications, right? It affects everybody a little differently, right? So everybody's ultimate cause of death will be different. It doesn't all fall in line with the same complications, but it's a really, really big problem. We are ranked, the US is ranked the 12th most obese country in the world. So that's concerning considering we're a developed nation, we're a first world country, and not only are we the 12th most obese country in the world, we're actually the most obese country, the most obese developed nation in the world. So all the other countries, they have different um, cultural practices and beliefs in diet, which lead to them being having lower rates of obesity throughout their population. So we'll be discussing what the U.S. is doing right and wrong, right, and what other countries we can learn from. So like this, for example, this in front of me, I have a little pyramid, a food pyramid. So the US has a food pyramid that we encourage, right? It's usually given by the CDC and they alter it from time to time over the years. But this one's a pyramid, a food pyramid that describes the Mediterranean diet and how their approach to diet is um, implicated in their daily lives, right? On a weekly, daily, and monthly basis on what their diet is consisted of. So their diet consists of what's called a plant-based diet. So that means that they're able to eat um, meat, right? That could be beef, um, but very moderate amount of beef. But their primary protein that they go to is usually poultry. They don't need excessive amounts of it. Their goal is to eat as little of it. They mostly want to get their nutrition and protein from fruits, vegetables, healthy fats such as olive oil, nuts, and fish. Right. So that's ultimately what I'm here to demonstrate and encourage you guys to incorporate into your own life is a Mediterranean diet approach, but for the most part, a plant-based diet is what I'm really encouraging you guys to try to incorporate into your daily life to increase your lifespan and your quality of life. So my main argument is, my first main argument is that um, eating plant-based foods, it can boost your immunity, it can reduce inflammation, help you maintain a healthy weight, which is ultimately what you want. You get your fiber intake, and that's key for your microbiota, which is the bacteria that live inside your gut, right? That's what they call the healthy gut bacteria. You want to constantly feed it, and that will overall boost your immunity, overall health, right? And most importantly, it can lower your risk of cancer. So who doesn't want that? Nobody wants to develop cancer in their life because we all know how that ends in mortality, and that's not what any of you guys want. So that's just my first argument as to why this wouldn't be a bad idea to incorporate into your life in the best way that you can, right? We all can do our best. We're not perfect. So my second argument is simple: is that obesity rates, hypertension, heart disease, diabetes, type 2 diabetes, they're very prevalent in the US. Um, Below, I have a chart. So what this data demonstrates is that it's from 2017 to 2018. It's from the National Institute of Diabetes and Digestive and Kidney Diseases, right? So it's from a reliable source. And what it demonstrates is that in men, women, they're all, both genders, and it even separates it into different races, the prevalence of obesity. So obesity is a problem because it can lead to hypertension, heart disease, type 2 diabetes. Um, there's various diseases. We could go down the rabbit hole for probably hours if we really went up that approach, but I'm not going to bore you with all of that. Just a little bit of information to keep in mind as to what pretty much the American diet is doing to us, right? So we in the American diet are encouraged to eat hamburgers, eat hot dogs, and while they may be delicious, they're probably not your best go-to for a meal, especially if that's something you eat routinely, right? That's kind of what leads to these high figures of obesity in the US. So, my central idea. So, pretty much my idea that I would like to preach to you guys for your guys' benefit, of course, is that, you don't need to eat large amounts of meals or large portion meals or large amounts of protein, animal protein more specifically. That's kind of what ultimately is leading to the diseases, the high diseases, the obesity rates, all the health issues that Americans experience on an annual basis throughout all of the US. It's primarily due to our diet and to our lifestyle. A lot of people have not probably not the best practices, daily practices of exercising, right? They recommend that you move at least 30 minutes a day, right? Nothing too crazy, just moderate movement, a moderate approach to exercising, smaller portion meals, more vegetable and fruit intake, less animal protein. So, my main point number three. So, 30 minutes of exercise, as I said earlier, of moderate exercise, doesn't even have to be intense, can decrease your body mass index, which will reduce your chances of acquiring obesity related diseases and will increase your overall health. So, there's many benefits to exercising and eating healthy. You can pick and choose whichever option you'd like. Below, I have a figure of a man cycling. Cycling is a very uh, positive endurance, cardiovascular exercise, so that's just one option. There's always strength training. You can walk, you can swim. It's all about pretty much whatever makes you happy and whatever makes you comfortable. And the whole point is just to get your body moving. That's what you ultimately want. You just want to get your body moving, which will in return improve your quality of life and give you longevity in this life. So below, I have an animated figure of a male, and these are the different body mass index numbers that you kind of want to keep in mind, right? So when you're at a 31 figure on the body mass index, you're technically considered obese. It's obviously really difficult for all of us to achieve a BMI of, let's say, for example, 24, as you can see here, is a normal number for a person of this man's age, height, and weight, right? So that's kind of how they calculate your BMI. But when you're at an overweight or an obese figure in the BMI scale, that's what puts you at high risk for um, heart disease, for fatty liver, for diabetes, obesity, as I've mentioned earlier. So, my central idea, my ultimate argument is that you need physical exercise. Any physical exercise that makes you happy, that you can incorporate on a daily basis and are willing to commit to, that's what you should do. Some examples I provided, and as I mentioned earlier, were walking, jogging, cycling, swimming. Strength training is a very important one. And these are just examples of exercises that can help you maintain a healthy body weight. So, my conclusion. So, you don't have to lose a whole lot of weight in a week to be healthy. That's probably not the healthiest approach either, to lose that kind of weight, especially if you want to keep the weight off. If you lose 10 pounds in a month, although that may seem like you've succeeded in your mission to lose weight, but you're more than likely to relapse in your diet, and you're more than likely to relapse in the amount of exercise that you're incorporating into your daily life, right? So moderation is key here. That's usually what everybody preaches, right? Moderation is key. You don't want to overdo it. You don't want to hurt yourself. And you also don't want to starve yourself. although there are very many proven facts to fasting, but you don't want to completely cut out food entirely. It's better that you go about it at a more modest approach, and you just consume more fruits and vegetables, you know? Just consume more fruits and vegetables, drink water to stay hydrated, avoid the sweets, the sugars, specifically the refined sugar, which is the white sugar that we're all used to and familiar with. And I think that would probably be your best bet. And if you take anything from this demonstration speech, then remember this. In the wide, in the wise words of Jerry Pinkney, strive to maintain a healthy body weight at your own pace in a healthy manner. And these are my references as to where I got all my information from, right? So it's all from credible sources. Um, I got a lot of my resources from, the CDC, Cleveland Clinic, and that concludes my presentation. So thank you for you guys' time. Take care, everyone.